Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. So we have the amazing Carolyn Ozuna back on today. She's a renowned coach, mentor, and energy healer with over a decade of experience, has worked alongside top transformational leaders such as Joseph McClellan III, Dr. Jason Ozuna. She specializes in helping people release deep emotions and forgiveness and all of the great things we're going to talk about today. And as an expert in radical forgiveness, showing how unresolved pain can affect finances, relationships, and especially health. So we're going to jump on in. Carolyn, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself before we get started?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love for anyone watching live or even anyone watching the recording to post, "Hi, Susan, how you doing?" Post one thing you're grateful for. I always just like to start it off. Even the searching in something to be grateful for is helping you in this whole show that you have, Your Thoughts, Your Reality, is that we can control our destiny, that we can truly heal, And so I always like to start off everything that I do with a little bit of gratitude. But yes, I have been doing this for 11 years now, believe it or not. I started this work back in 2014. And, where I was living in my sister's basement, going through a horrible divorce. And, where I am now is, I've created a multi-million-dollar business. I have met my soulmate, and we have a beautiful, passionate, loving marriage, hosting events, coaching people, impacting, influence. My life is barely recognizable from what it was. And I'm excited about this podcast because on this podcast, I'm going to give these viewers exactly the tools that I used and really leave them with some lasting, actually step-by-step things, not just talking. We're not just going to be talking. I have a list of tools that I want to give to them that they can start practicing right away that will drastically change their thoughts and their reality.
super excited. So, and we're going to dive into those tools. And, I'm just going to say it. So, Carolyn, don't listen for a minute. Carolyn is amazing. Okay. I mean, I've known her for a couple of years now. We're in different groups together and so on. And she really does some of the most amazing, beautiful work with people. This is a treat for you guys. So, and she's doing a little bit different today. We're going through actual steps and we're going to go through and dive in. So, before we really dive in, just want to get everybody lined up with, on the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's a blue QR code. It takes you to empowerperformancestrategies.com. Again, for people listening later on, empowerperformancestrategies.com. We have free ebooks and trainings and Facebook groups for both veterans and their families. So please become part of our mission, become part of our family. So with that said, Carolyn, let's just start off with, many people think forgiveness is about, letting someone else off the hook, which is so not the case. And I think that's why people struggle with it. They really struggle with, oh no, that wasn't right. It's not about forgiving the act, right? Talk to us more about that. Let's start there if we can.
Right. And so I think people really get confused with forgiveness because they think forgiveness means condoning, or that they're okay with the behavior that was done to them or that they did to others. Because forgiveness isn't just for other people. Say yes in the comments if you've also been hard on yourself or felt guilty about things or had trouble. Oh, I should have done that differently, or I wish I would have been different, or you did the best that you could. We should eliminate the word should from our vocabulary, because if you would have known better, you would have done better. And so I think people really have this skewed concept of what forgiveness can do in your life. And I know many of my teachers, including the ones in, even I've traveled to India and worked with monks. And one of the first, the traditional piece is forgiveness. but I want to get you to a place. And most people have trouble with this, right? Like there's certain steps to get to, but the step that I would like everyone to be at, Michael, is that there's nothing to forgive. And then the step beyond that is grateful for what happened. And that's a huge leap for most people. Most people in their lives will never get there because they won't be able to see the gift or the wisdom that came from that challenging situations. I'm not saying what happened to you was right. I'm not condoning anyone's behavior. I'm not saying there shouldn't be justice, or consequences when these things happen. Does that make sense? What I'm saying, and I have these written down because I wanted to be really crystal clear. Yes, thank you, Susan. Yes, everyone watching, please put yes in the chat. The more you participate, the more you engage, the more you share this out, the more you're going to get off of this. And so the first core principle of this radical forgiveness that I'm talking about is nothing happens by accident. Okay, so everything, even the painful, unjust, traumatic events in our life serves as a spiritual purpose until you no longer at that consciousness level anymore. There's some type of learning or lesson, like if there's toxicity or drama within you, you are going to attract that. Does that make sense? Until you say, okay, enough of this. Where's my gift in this? How can I see this as my mirror? Oh, this person is controlling. Where am I controlling in my life? Oh, I'm judgmental on this person. I remember when I first met my husband, I was like, you're the most judgmental person I've ever met. And he's like, that means you're the most judgmental person you've ever met. And I had so much trouble with that concept until I started to put these things, these 5 things, if I can give them to you, and then we can ask another question. But the second core principle is we're not victims. We are not victims. And when it does, look, the radical forgiveness principle says, look, go into your victimness for a little bit, just tell the story, because that's going to validate it. That's going to tune in so you can actually feel it, let it flow, and free it and release it. But don't stay stuck in that story. Listen to me now, guys. This is so true. Any more than 90 seconds to 5 minutes in an emotion, feeling an emotion, you're not actually feeling an emotion. You're stuck in a story. Okay. And this is really powerful because we can take our power back if we know, you know what? I'm not processing. When I say I'm processing this, that means I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a story. I'm in my mind and I'm in like a hell loop that keeps replaying. And so this is where
good word for it.
Right, exactly. And so people in experience that hurt us are often, soul contracts, or there's a spiritual reason behind it. I cannot believe that we will experience pain in our life for no reason, just because there's something here, there's some gift in it. Even the most horrendous things, there can be a gift behind it. Like my divorce was horrible 11 years ago. I don't wish a divorce on anyone. It is, it's like dying. It's like losing a part of yourself because you lose who you were with that person. And, but so I don't wish that on anyone, but it brought me such gifts. It brought me to Jason. It brought me to a life that I didn't even know was possible. Once I was finally able to see through my victimization, see through my own story. So the second things, so number 2, we're not victims, and everything that's happening in our outer reality is reflecting what we need to heal and grow. Number 3, feel it fully. Don't bypass it. No more than 90 seconds to 5 minutes. And this takes practice, right? How often, say yes in the comments if you guys have ever experienced a situation where you stay in it longer than 5 minutes. I did this past week. I was in it for like 3 hours. I was totally stuck. My energy was drained. And I was like replaying this scenario over and over and over again, the way I thought it should be versus the way it was, and all of these things. And it drains us. It drains us. Okay. And I'm passionate about this because this works. So radical forgiveness, or it's not about, spiritually bypassing your pain, it's about feeling it with awareness and then shifting the meaning you're attaching to what happened. Okay. So that's number 3, fully feel it. Don't bypass it. You know what if I could just feel my anger without attaching the meaning or where it come from? Can't you experience magic or passion or life without needing to know how or why? When you're needing to know how or why, you're still in your mind. Just, okay, I feel angry. I'm frustrated. Or you know what? I feel joy. Let me fully feel it without suppressing it. You know what? I don't want to feel too good because if I feel too good, what if the other shoe drops? Right? Energy extends both ways. And so number 4 is healing happens through acceptance, not analysis. Healing happens through acceptance. And I think people miss this and they overthink and they overattach and all of these things. You don't need to understand every detail mentally or figure it out. You just need to be willing to see it differently. That's it. You just need to step outside just a little bit, because what happens is when you lock yourself into one perspective, I cannot even tell you the low energy that you are in. The person listening now, guys, the person with the most perspectives wins. If I can see from Michael's point of view, if I can see from my view, if I can see from Susan's view, and I can see from God's view, and then I have all these multiple perspectives, it's healing. And then life happens. And number 5, this is like the most important one, I think. The forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. I saw this thing online, and I don't care if you guys agree with me or not. I don't believe this. I think I heard Taylor Swift, or I think I heard a doctor saying, don't forgive him. Don't forgive him. Just don't forgive. And I was like, this is like, that is coming from such a wounded place, because here's the deal. Cindy, what's up, beautiful? Hello. Yes, it's all about perspective, but there's an energetic thread between us and everyone that you've known, know now, or will ever know. Trust me on this. And so every time you feel drained, that could literally be someone thinking about you. We are impacting people. We have more impact on this energetic field on our lives than we could ever measure or imagine, truly. And so this one is very particular because it says, it's not for them, it's for you. Claim that forgiveness. Like, you know what? I'm not going to stay in my hurt. Because when you stay in your hurt, when you stay in your wounds, when you stay in that lack of forgiveness, I want you guys to imagine it would be like me walking around holding a suitcase all day long. No, this is my hurt, Michael. I need to take this with me. Okay. This gives me significance and certainty and a pattern and emotions that I'm super used to and conditioned to. Okay. So I just want to hold on to this. I know it hurts my arm. I know it hurts. I know it's heavy, but I'm going to carry it. Why are we doing this? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not heavy, my friends. And so those are the 5, just to get started on forgiveness. Those are 5 tools that I would immediately start to apply to my own life, and 5 beliefs. Like, integrate these beliefs into your life. And when you change your thoughts, and I know you believe this whole podcast is change your thoughts, you change your reality. Tiny shifts in our thinking create mammoth shifts in our reality. So if we truly believe, if everyone listening believes, my thoughts create my reality, because my thoughts create my beliefs, and then my beliefs create my behavior, and my behavior creates my destiny. Oh, I'm passionate about this because I know if those 4 things line up, you're going to change and your life is going to change drastically.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, hey guys, we're done for the day.
No, wait, I have more stuff. Ask me more questions.
I think my dear friend has dropped enough bombs and golden nuggets that it's enough. I don't think anybody could take more amazing thoughts right now. I joke. Obviously, we're only halfway through. So I want to dive into a couple of things, and I'm not even going questions. Let's just talk, because you know how this works. I ask a question, I'm done. It's organic conversation, because that's what I believe in. So with that said, and I got comments blowing up right now, and I can't keep up with them. So I can't do everything. So listen, so I've always, no, I shouldn't say that. Since I was probably 30 years old, have had a different perspective on forgiveness than most people. I believe that, and it's with myself and it's with other people. And I want to get your thoughts on this as well.
Yeah.
Because everything you've already said hits totally home with me. So people are doing the best they can for who they are at the time, where they are, right? And when you really think about that, it's so simple, because aren't we all at the time doing the best we can for who we are? I mean, doesn't mean I'm forgiving that person for doing something, stupid. I mean, there are things that are hard, and I want to get into the hard ones with you, Carolyn, because I know you're going to be amazing at this. But how simplified, assassinating complexity with forgiveness can that be? Because all we're doing is there's sayings out there, obviously my wife says it all the time, is you're drinking the poison expecting someone else to die. And that's what forgiveness to me is really about. It's about, like you said, it's for you. It's for healing for you, because it is an energy sucker from hell.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting there judgmental or whatever the case may be, like with somebody against somebody else,
Yeah.
forgive, move on for yourself. And this is where I want to get into. You know, people talk about finding the gift, and I am the biggest believer in this. You know, find what you learn from, so you grow and you move on and you're a better person, and all the beautiful things that come from that alignment. There's rape, there's murder, there's the people say, how do you find a gift in that? How can you possibly find a gift or something to learn from that? I want you to talk about that, because it's a tough one, because it's easier for people to say, oh, well, they messed up my coffee, I can forgive them for that. But the ones that people hold on with the trauma, and guys, trauma, in my opinion here, trauma is generally a one-time event that just recycles because you haven't let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it builds and builds and builds and ruins people's lives.
Yeah.
And I coach with people this all the time. So give us thoughts on that, if you will.
Absolutely. So I'm going to share two things. And can your viewers or anyone's watching, can you guys say yes in the chat if you're open to new perspectives? Because I feel like I might trigger some people, and I know that's okay. The things that we're sharing are for very highly conscious people and people who are open to different perspectives. I can tell right away if someone's open. So I want to know, Susan's open. Okay. Do we have anyone else that's open to new? Yes. Okay. We got Cindy on board. Who else can we get on board here? Just say yes. And because this is really important in terms of where I'm going to take you guys. So first, how would we even find the gift and rate? All right, Denise is with us. Okay, we got a few. Okay, you guys are conscious enough to hear this then I'm going to tell you. Okay, and here's two things. I had a client. This was a really long time ago. This is like 11 years ago. Or no, like 10 years ago. And we were doing some deep trauma work together. And he started to kind of ask his mom certain questions. He didn't feel ever right at home, certain things. And he's actually a big speaker. Like if I said his name, you would probably know who he is. I'm not going to do that. But I used to coach a lot. Like I coach different people and different people in fields and, doctors and nurses and all movie stars, Broadway stars. Like we have coached them all. And, but he found out that his mom was actually raped, and she decided to keep the baby. And he couldn't understand why he always just felt this feeling like he didn't belong or he wasn't wanted. And his mom and him did deep healing together. But what he got from that, like the gift he got from that, was he wouldn't exist. He wouldn't be alive without that rape. And he loves his life and he impacts so many people. So I'm not saying rape is right. Listen to me now. I don't condone it. I think that there should be unbelievable justice for people who do that. But I'm also saying, listen to me now. If we go back to the principles, we are not victims of our circumstances. So this means if there's and listen, I know not everyone's going to agree with me, but I want to be my authentic self. And you know what? If you don't agree, that's okay. I think that we're called.
Carolyn, really quick.
Yeah.
Be your authentic self. Here's the beauty of this show.
Yeah.
If you don't agree and don't want to listen, you can tune off.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what I'm saying is,
Carolyn, please.
Yeah. So I'm saying that if you have a tremendous amount of unprocessed victimization in your life, in your body, you are literally creating that victimization, meaning you're calling that energetic towards you. I know most people don't want to hear that. They want to say that's ridiculous. But if you look at the studies, the people who choose they're victims of rape. I'm not sure if you guys have looked at the studies on this, but here are 3 factors of rape. They feel like the person's disconnected from their reality. They're not present. There's no flame within here. They're totally lost in their mind, totally victimized. They're slouching. They just feel like a victim, right? They're in victim consciousness, and victim consciousness will breed more victim scenarios and situations. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that that we can take control of our destiny. And so we can find a gift in that. Okay. We can find a gift. We can heal. I truly believe that we can heal anything in our lives. It's going to take practice. It's not easy, especially if you've been like by age 8, Michael, we are programmed to believe what can and we can't do in our life. Victim consciousness is not just chosen by us, it's programmed into us until we decide to choose differently. Most of the listeners listening to this have not chosen and carefully selected their beliefs that are driving their behavior, and they wonder why they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Why do I keep getting sick? I don't know. Why don't I have the energy? I don't know. Why don't I just start the business? I don't know. And why is I end a relationship with Jason, and then John shows up with the same issues. Like, what's going on here? What am I not willing to look at? What am I not willing to see? If everybody on this podcast has the belief or listening, look, I'm in Earth School. I'm not just here for my own happiness and fulfillment. Is that a huge part of it? Yes. But to say that there's no pain in life, to say that we won't struggle, to say that we won't suffer is inauthentic. It's not truth. We will suffer, but we can program ourselves to believe differently, and we can program new situations. And this way, because listen, if someone rapes and murders someone, and in my mind, I see it and I'm like, they're horrible. Look at my face. They're horrible. I hate them. What am I adding to the field, Michael?
You're adding emotion to it. What I'm not sure exactly what you're looking
Hate and judgment. If I'm like, how
absolutely.
dare
Absolutely.
they should not have done this. This shouldn't be happening. I'm literally doing what that person is doing. I'm saying this shouldn't be this way. I'm judging it. That shouldn't have happened. Doesn't mean there shouldn't be justice. Doesn't mean there shouldn't be action. I'm not condoning any action at all. What I'm saying is that your hate and your judgment it's harming the field. Our love and compassion and our acceptance, not of that energy, but there is a hurt little boy or little girl, and like a really hurt unconscious person. You listen to me now. You cannot hurt another soul or human being when you're conscious. You are deeply hurt and deeply unconscious if you're hurting another soul. We are designed to love one another. We are designed to care for others. There's no way that you can hurt a human being in that fashion or that way unless you are deeply hurt and disconnected. So I don't feel like more judgment, more hate is going to help heal us. I don't feel like carrying more hurt, more judgment, more hate on our, it's like you said, that thing that you said is the truest thing. It's drinking poison and expecting the other person to get ill. And then you're impacting, remember, there's invisible energetic threads. Wayne Dyer, one of my favorite quotes is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's not just in our energetic field. That's with anything. If I change my belief around money, and I'm like, you know what, avalanches of abundance are flowing to and through me. God's wealth flows through and to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, wants, and desires are met instantly by infinite intelligence. And then I start thinking these thoughts, my reality is going to change pretty drastically. And so I'm just sharing this because for those that are still holding guard or stubbornness or hurt in their heart, there is never a good reason to close your heart, because when you close your heart, you are locking the pain within you. You are locking it within you, and then you decorate your prison of pain. And you decorate, like, I'm going to hold on to this hurt. And it's like, oh, by the way, Michael, I have this chalkboard where I write down every list of everything everybody's done to hurt me and everything I've done to hurt others. And then everything I judge in this world. And I'm holding up this list, and I'm telling you, it gets heavy. And this is where physical illness, relationships drain. It's a thing, like, because God's like, let me turn up the heat because I love this person too much to hold on to all of these things. So that's why sometimes things fall apart.
Yeah. Judgment is so exhausting. It really is. I mean, judgment is one of the most exhausting things, and holding on to the past is exhausting. And when you get stuck there, you don't live the life that you're meant for. I agree with everything you just said. You do not move forward. All of these things are meant to learn from. Look, I deal with people with PTSD. Um, how do you get rid of PTSD? In other words, that just going and revolving the trauma. You break down the belief system and you give the gifts, if you will, or the things you can learn from it, a new meaning so you can move forward from it in a positive, amazing way.
Absolutely.
You have the table, you break out the legs of the table one at a time and create a new belief system, and you shine. Look, I could go back, you could go back, right? We could go back to what our eyes got chills. We could go back to they're called God bumps, right?
Yeah.
Phil Odette Green gave me that one. You can go back and you could go back to, you know, every part of your childhood and play the blame game and stay in victimhood. And what good is that doing you, except for you're going to feel connected to other people doing the same damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
So take some of these skills, take some of these things that Carolyn is dropping right now, and re-listen to this. Make notes or take notes. Do what you need to do, but take an action today to move forward out of that victimhood for radical forgiveness. This is why this was so important to be on here. You know, earlier, Carolyn, I got to tell you, I was literally sitting there going, man, we should Joe Rogan this thing and be on for 3.5 hours. Because literally, I think both of us could talk about this for eternity, because it's the thing that holds people back probably the most in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Lack of forgiveness, judgment. You gotta, you know, one of the things they teach in India is how to fall in love with this moment right now. And so, meaning like fall in love with your reality right now. It's like a springboard to where you want to go for your vision, for your future. If you're judging where you are now, you'll never get to where you want to go. You have to find the gift in right now. And I know that's hard because you might not like where you're at, you know, in your relationships, or your finances, in your health, you know, or in your mindset or in your beliefs. And that's okay. You can go there, but there is a gift in where you are. And once you get that gift, it's like, it's like manifestation on steroids. It's like there's like miracles that start to happen. So if it's okay with you, Michael, I want to give your people and a book that I really recommend. It's Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. And he talks so much more in detail and gives so many steps, but I'd like to give like it's so simple. These 5 steps to do to actually processing this emotion, processing the PTSD, you know, processing the things that are not serving them anymore, stopping like that loop that they keep going into. Hi, Emily. Good to see you. And so is that okay if I share it briefly? Is that all right?
Yes. We got about 2.5 minutes left, but if we go over a little bit, it's okay. We do own the place. So go for it.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So 1, tell your story. Feel the anger, betrayal, or grief. Be honest. Don't skip this part. So I'm not just telling you, don't be a victim, screw your feelings. You know, I'm saying the biggest victims can be the biggest gift bringers once that energy is transformed. So fully go into it. Number 2, feel the feelings. Okay. Allow the emotions to move through you without judgment. Don't attach to it. Number 3, collapse the story. Realize that your perspective of the story isn't not the whole story. Your mind deletes and distorts over time. So something that happened in your childhood might not have actually happened because your mind has deleted and distorted it. It disorganizes it over time. And so if you can understand, oh, maybe, hey, Vanu, hey, gorgeous. So maybe if we can understand that our mind is doing this, then, oh, okay, well, maybe this, the way I'm seeing it, isn't the whole truth. Maybe it's not 100% true. Number 4, reframe the story. This is really important. See the person or the event that happened as a part of your spiritual path. Okay. Everything in your life is a spiritual path. I truly believe that. I believe we are souls. I don't believe I'm just Carolyn living this life, you know, this 40-year-old mom or wife or however I see myself or coach. I am a soul. I don't believe, Michael, you're just this extraordinary podcast host, changing people's lives and sharing this with people and loving on people with your kind heart. There is a spirit and a soul driving you to help veterans, not just veterans, but anyone who has the desire to upgrade their frequency, upgrade their thoughts, upgrade their life. And so Number 5, integrate and release. Accept with gratitude and release it. Meaning, okay, I accept this lesson. I don't have to relearn this lesson. I don't want this lesson to come twice in my life. Like, I got the gift of it. Like, how many times, say yes in the chat if you guys have ever been in a place where you're like, oh, this has happened before. I should have known better. Well, you didn't get the lesson. And that's where this, yeah, right. Me too. We've all been there. And so this is where self-reflection is really powerful. I know there's a lot of coaches. Say yes in the comments. I know a lot of coaches and healers and are on here today. And I just want to say, I honor all of you. And Michael, you too, you're a coach as well. Like, I honor you guys. We are the flame. There's a flame inside our chest, and we get to bring that to people every day through our presence and through our love, through our compassion. And you know, they say that the kindest people are actually the most intelligent people. The strongest person is actually the most gentle person. And so in our lives, if you apply these principles that I just shared, it's powerful for transforming judgment, blame, anger, and resentment into this clarity and peace and just reverence for your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't, okay. Should we just go another 30 minutes? I'm totally joking. But there's just so much to talk about with this, and we'll have you back on, obviously, and dive in even more or something else amazing. So, you know, with that said, you know, again, please listen to this again, take notes, you know, take the action steps and take it now, because that 2% shift today, not tomorrow, not starting on Monday, start now, because Monday you'll be different. A year from now, you'll be different. But if you just sit there and listen to it and move on, or don't move on or just move on and don't take an action step, you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
Yeah. What he just said, man, I hope they just took what you said. So Oprah says this, and I love this. I think it is so true in our lives. Tell me yes in the chat if you agree with me. Awareness is one thing, action is another. You can have an awareness and not take action on it. Does that make sense? And we love you. We love you, Cindy, too. And so that ability just to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take some action. So this could be, after you listen to this, maybe you clean up a relationship and you don't need that person to apologize you or see your perspective to forgive. In fact, guess what? I had this one person, Michael, who they didn't talk to their brother for 10 years, and they did the process that I just told you guys to do. Their brother reached out to them and apologized to them out of the blue after 10 years. So I'm telling you, when you change this internal landscape, your outer landscape cannot stay the same. It's an energetic thread. So yes, I get excited. I get passionate because this work has changed my life and countless other lives. So yes, thank you for having me on, Michael. You are such a joy to go back and forth with.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm just going to share this real quick and we'll get out of here. My life changed because of this work. You know, a couple of years ago when I joined the Neuroencoding Institute, I was going, what do I want to do when I grow up? Because I've been in the same industry and still am for 37 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't add up the dates. I'm old. But you know what? This work and just helping people fills the cup. Every day it fills the cup. And here's the other thing about the energetic field. I want to dive in real quick. When you start doing the right things and your integrity is in line with who you are, it comes to you. You don't have to go searching for it. Those people that are building their lives, their stories, it comes to you. Look, I didn't know Carolyn before. Come on, people. You know, all these amazing people and what they've been saying on here. I didn't know most of these people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how that energy brings back. And again, the work fills your cup, man. So we're both so passionate about this. Thank you, Carolyn, so much for being on here. We're so past time, but we still need to do, how do people reach you first of all?
Oh, yes. Well, you can private message me on Facebook. Carolyn Ozuna is my Facebook name. That's a great way. I'm doing a free healing session in about a month and a half. You can join that. We have events coming up. But yeah, right on my Facebook page is the best way to reach me through message. And I can even get on a call with some of your people and really support them and share some programs and offerings that we have if they're interested in moving forward with it. I already see some of my people on here. But there is one thing I wanted to say about what you just said, which is be the rose that blooms. A rose doesn't uplift, a rose doesn't uproot and go chasing the bee. A rose stays rooted and just blooms, and then the bees come to it. So I loved what you're saying. It's really about getting into alignment and then blooming, and then the right people find you, just like today. So thank you guys. I would love for you guys also to share this out. There are people out there that need that like are hurting in their heart. That I cannot even tell you how many people I've worked with. You don't know the state that people are in. Thank you so much, Cindy. They need this healing work in their hearts. Like it's really, they need it. And so even just watching this can transform a heart, transform a life, your energy, Michael, and I will say this, your passion for wanting to help people and your authenticity, your integrity. But I really feel like you really want to help people. I really feel that in your soul and your heart. So thank you for having me on so much.
Absolutely. And we're going to close out with 3 tips to get veterans and their families further faster. We're not done yet.
Oh, we are. I get 3 more tips. Wow.
Okay. 3 tips to get veterans further faster and their families, of course.
How to further faster in your family. I think the tips that I shared in the beginning, we might not understand why someone's acting the way they're acting, like a husband or a wife or a friend or a family member. But I would say seeing your part in it when you're judging another person. What's my part in this? Yes. Hi, Deborah. What's my part in this? Because we're set up to kind of look, sometimes what God will do is whatever we need to heal within us, he'll show us in another person, and then we get to judge it on the outside, and then we get to heal it on the inside. Right. And so I would say the one thing is see how you play a role and a part in the drama and in the challenges that you're facing in your life. Number 2 is really get rooted in the belief that your thoughts create your reality. If you can root in that, especially with this podcast, literally the name is Your Thoughts, Your Reality Podcast, because your thoughts, if you think a thought long enough and hard enough, it's going to create a belief. That belief creates a behavior, and that creates your destiny. So if you know that, get rooted in it, then you'll actually start to, because if you don't practice your thoughts, your states of consciousness, how you want to be daily, that means there's some part of you that doesn't believe that your thoughts create your reality. So get rooted in that belief that your thoughts create reality. Number 3, appreciate and see what's working in your life right now. I think this is probably the most important thing. Appreciate and see what's working in your life right now as much as you possibly can. Your awareness is currency. Your attention is currency. And so, okay, I can focus on what's not working or what I didn't like or all these things, or I can practice and program myself to say, well, what do I appreciate about this? Doesn't mean I don't have to make changes. Doesn't mean I can't set boundaries, but where was the gift? How can I change to a more optimistic point of view in my life? Because a negative mindset, negative thoughts really do break down your body. And so I would say for every interaction you have with someone in relationships, for every negative in your reaction, you should have 5 positive ones. Okay, my friends. And so, yeah, it is the biggest shift. And so take that. And I also have, I know this sounds so strange, but if you guys want to put it in the chat, I have a word that I say that breaks my pattern if I'm in like a negative thought. This doesn't have to be your word. My word's pineapple. I'm like, man, I am in like not a great place right now. Like I feel like I'm looping. I'm in a hell loop. I'm seeing a situation. I'm attaching a meaning. I'm judging myself for a person, or, oh, you should have done this. You should have done better, or whatever it is. I'm like, pineapple. And, it like snaps me out of it. It's like a pattern break, and pattern breaks work. So I would say choose a word and make it funny. I had someone today that said, I want my word to be farfanugan, or I want my word to be fudge, or it does, make it silly, or I had one person who was like, I'm just going to meow. And they were like, whenever they're in that loop, meow. I know that sounds crazy, but that humor is going to change your brain chemistry. It makes it a little bit lighter. When we're so solid in our perspectives, really you're deadlocking the universe and God out from creating change in your life. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I'm so grateful for all of you on.
Yeah. And again, thank you for all the comments and everybody being on here today. So I just have to share, my word is going to be Jumanji.
I love that. Jumanji. You know what? Do.
Now, what's funny is when you do that and you do that pattern interrupt, and I do the same thing, and then I just think of something I'm grateful for, because you can't be upset and grateful at the same time.
Right.
So, and it could be, I brushed my teeth today, and be goofy about it. It doesn't matter. Just something to put in that scotoma when you do that pattern interrupt to lift and change your physiology and just lift you out of that place, because it's easy to jump right back into it, right, to some extent. But when you're talking pineapple, I don't know that I could jump back into it. It's fantastic.
I would love for everyone to put a word in the chat. Amy Jo Morris says, I really need a pattern. And yeah, you ruminate a lot on that. So put a word in the chat right now. Choose it now. Don't wait too later. You won't later. Get a word right now and then try it for 3 times today, and it really does just take a little bit of practice. And everyone listen to me now, whatever you're practicing is growing stronger. Well, if you get pushed, whatever, if I'm holding this and there's coffee in the cup, whatever's in my cup is going to spell out. If it's coffee, it's going to be coffee. It's tea, it's going to be water. I love it. Deborah says abracadabra. That's a great one. And, but so if I'm filling myself up with doubt, with hate, with judgment, with, should, and, oh, I lost my chance. And all these negative thoughts, once I get pushed by someone, all that's going to spill out. Does that make sense? Because life is going to push you sometimes. And so that's why these podcasts, listening to these podcasts, or finding these practices that you can do on a daily basis. I love these words. These are really funny words. I love it. And so our ability to be able to say, okay, I can practice this word. I can practice this pattern break. I can, and here's where I'm going to tell you this. I find God. You can say, if you don't believe in God, say universe, joy, love, whatever you believe in. I find God in the space in between my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. You are not your thoughts. And so when you can just get still, because there's so much stimulation, there's so much comparison, but I promise you, once you get the guy, once you get the girl, once you get the money, once you get the things you want, you're still going to be you. And guess what? After a brief celebration, you're going to be like, what's next? I want more. Exactly. And so it's so beautiful, because then we can enjoy the right now. And so my destination in my life is no longer a place. It's a new way of seeing the world, because through new eyes, I live a new life. And I get to close my eyes each day and practice silent meditation and find God in the space in between my thoughts. And then I can carefully choose, oh, that wasn't an aligned thought. What's another thought that would be relief for me? So if I'm like, oh, I'm so mad at this person, God, I can't believe they did that to me. I could be like, well, what could I see that I did to them maybe? And then there's like a little bit of relief there. And then there's even more relief. And then can I be 100% sure and assume that they're thinking of this is truth? This is going to be 100% sure, and so reach for relief, because sometimes going from fear to gratitude is a very huge leap. But I can tell you, you can do it. I love what you said. I do believe gratitude is the antidote to fear, but some people might be in a place where they're like, I can't get to gratitude. I'm so afraid right now. But what's a little bit more powerful than powerlessness and fear is anger. And then a little bit above that would be feeling sadness. And then a little bit of that is, peace or whatever. And so now we're going up the scale, of frustration. Okay. Now we're getting some energy, and then you can get to that joy. So reach for relief today in your thoughts, and then reach for that space in between the thoughts and find God. Find what you believe in. It'll be there. I promise. We get so wrapped up in that we are, what's happened to us or what we're going to do or what we've been. You are eternity. We are eternity, living in this life. This is so precious. It's so sacred. I get so emotional thinking about my existence. Like I'm a spirit. I'm a soul living in this body. I have this body that I get to experience the gift of life in. I don't always feel like this, but I practice as much as I can, moving into a state of reverence for my life, because reverence is very close to God.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be passionate and emotional.
Yeah. You're telling me.
I know, right? No, you connect with people that way. I really always believe that when you show your true soul, that's when connections are made, my friend. So, with that said, you're almost at Joseph McClendon time.
I can't be my mentor. I don't want to do that to him.
No, it is all good. Hey, so everybody, thank you again for joining us. Carolyn, you're always a amazing light in this world. Thank you for shining so bright. I love having you on every time. So, with that said, though, we do need to go. So, okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And tell Jason we love him, please.
I will. I'll let you
know him bouncing around in there.
Yeah. And you know what I would say to everyone? Post one takeaway you got. I don't care if it's one sentence or Joseph McClendon always says this, and so does Tony Robbins. They will say, don't leave the site without writing down an anchor or what you learned from listening to something. I'm telling you, we wouldn't tell you this unless it worked. This is neuroencoding at its finest. Write down what you got from it. Like, even if it's just in a comment in here, oh, you know what? I really resonated with, forgiveness isn't condoning, or I really resonated with the space in between. Just write anything that is sticking in your mind, or any lesson or wisdom or something that you're going to apply to your life, because that will help anchor in the lesson and the wisdom you just learned. So it doesn't just go in and out. Let it cultivate, let it sit. So yes, see the world with new eyes. Beautiful. All right, great. Thank you, Michael. I know we have to go.
Last thing, when you do that, celebrate it. Shake your ass, pat yourself on the back, and smile.
Let's go.
All right, everybody, we are out of here. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.